Tonight on NewsVision, numerous Florida college students are at risk of losing their visas, including some here at the University of Miami. We will bring you all the latest. Plus, as the world mourns the loss of the Pope, some local churches are holding their own events in memory of the beloved Catholic leader. We'll take you to one vigil mass where students gathered to remember Pope Francis.
He's a good example for me and for every Catholic.
And later on, one child in Miami is working to encourage everyone to be friends, using an iconic symbol at playgrounds.
Be a buddy and not a bully.
Be a buddy and not a bully.
All this and a lot more on tonight's program, and it starts right now. Good evening and welcome to this special hour-long edition of NewsVision. I'm Christopher Perez.
And I'm Lauren Harrington. Thank you for joining us.
The Miami Hurricane is reporting that at least 8 international students at the University of Miami have had their visas revoked. According to anonymous sources interviewed by the Hurricane, the reasons for the visa revocations are still unclear and the affected students have not been identified. Universities throughout the state of Florida, including University of Florida and Florida International University, began revoking visas at the end of March as the Trump administration continues to enforce stricter immigration laws. FIU released a statement earlier this month saying, quote, FIU Police Department has signed a cooperation agreement with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in compliance with Governor Ron DeSantis' directive to law enforcement agencies. Now, UMTV reached out to officials and UM at FIU, but both universities have declined to comment.
It's been a week since a gunman opened fire on the Florida State University campus, killing 2 people and wounding several students. The gunman is a 20-year-old FSU student and the son of a sheriff deputy of Leon County. He was shot in the jaw by police and remains in the hospital with significant injuries. He is expected to be officially charged after he is discharged. FSU sent an email announcing that classes and other campus activity would resume this week. But after pushback from students, the university offered remote options and waived mandatory attendance requirements.
And it feels disrespectful to the victims, and it feels disrespectful to a community that's still grieving to go back this soon.
Students and faculty have set up vigils on campus throughout the past week. And yesterday, dozens of FSU students, led by Students Demand Action, marched to the state capitol to call for gun reform legislation.
And less than a week after the tragedy at FSU, Broward County School Board Representative Daniel Foganoli released an opinion piece calling for guns in schools. Foganoli was appointed to the school board back in 2022 and later was put on the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Public Safety Commission to focus on school safety. In Foganoli's article in the Spectator World, he wrote, "It's time to get real. Gun-free zones do not protect our students. They turn them into defenseless, easy targets. But had even one trained professor, staff member, or responsible student been armed, this tragedy might have ended differently."
The Catholic world is mourning the death of Pope Francis. The pontiff died on Easter Monday at the age of 88. Francis was the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church, a position he held for over 12 years. Here on campus, one student organization honored the late Pope, along with the other events throughout the week. Max Keller joins us live with more. Max?
That's right. U Catholic held a mass on Tuesday night to honor Pope Francis. The attendees joined millions across the globe in celebrating his impact and legacy. Pope Francis was known for focusing on social justice and climate issues, including creating language in the church for the LGBTQI+ community and pushing for climate initiatives. Earlier this month, he spent a couple of weeks in the hospital with serious health issues, but still managed to make an appearance during the Easter services at the St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican. On Tuesday, I spoke with Catholic students at the University of Miami who had time to reflect on Pope Francis's legacy, how he helped people become a leader, and ways that the next Pope can represent the Catholic Church in a positive light. Just 2 days after hosting a Sunday night Easter Mass, UCatholic came together for a Tuesday night Mass in honor of Pope Francis. With a vigil at the front of the service and prayers for him and his family, Miami students paid their respects to the late leader of the Catholic Church. The president of UCatholic says he learned leadership skills from watching Francis lead.
He always loved to smile, and I sometimes have tough days where I don't want to talk to somebody, but I remember the Pope.
A Pope is responsible for representing the Catholic Church positively on a global scale, and Leo believes that Pope Francis did just that.
He was a good example for me and for every Catholic. He took his faith seriously. He knew the teachings of the church, and he was so welcoming.
And as the Cardinals prepare to vote for the next Pope, students at UCatholic shared what the new Pope can do to create a positive legacy.
I think it's very important for the Pope, for the next Pope, to continue to humble himself, no matter his political affiliations, and always chase after the heart of Christ.
For now, Catholics at the University of Miami and across the world will continue to mourn the loss of their leader. Now, the College of Cardinals will meet in conclave in Sistine's Chapel to vote on who the next Pope will be. 80% of the Cardinals were appointed by Francis, and for the first time ever, less than half of the Cardinals are European. This means that electing a new Pope will likely lead to a broader global perspective from the Church. Live for UMTV, I'm Max Keller.
Thank you, Max. April 24th is Holocaust Remembrance Day, and the University of Miami Jewish organization Hillel honored victims of the Holocaust by hosting its annual 6 Hours for 6 Million event on campus. Earlier today from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., student and faculty members of Hillel read aloud names of child Holocaust victims and their ages, switching off readers every 5 minutes. Out of 6 million Jewish people persecuted under the Nazi regime, approximately 1.5 million victims were children.
These people had dreams just like you and I. They wanted to study, they wanted to play, and they were never able to do that because of this horrible event. And it is so important, even if we're not able to actually name everybody, to give them a space to remember them and for us to think about what happened.
6 Hours for 6 Million was part of Hillel's Israel Week events, which will end tomorrow with an Israel Shabbat service and dinner tomorrow at 6:15, wrapping up a week of education, remembrance, and reflection.
The war in Eastern Europe has escalated following a brief ceasefire on Easter Sunday. Last night, Russian military bombed the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, killing at least 12 people. This comes after Russia and Ukraine agreed to stop fighting for the Easter holiday. However, Russia's assault on Kyiv following the truce was the most deadly strike on the capital this year. President Trump took to social media last night following the attacks, writing, "I'm not happy with the Russian strikes on Kyiv. Not necessary and very bad timing. Vladimir, stop. 5,000 soldiers a week are dying. Let's get the peace deal done." The United States has threatened to abandon its efforts if the region is not making any progress soon.
This is Coast to Coast, bringing you news from across the United States. I'm Andres Jaime Mendez.
And I'm Emma Balleste. Harvard University is suing the Trump administration over federal research funding and academic freedom.
The Trump administration has said it will freeze more than $2 billion in grants and contracts to the Ivy League school.
The threat follows Harvard's refusal to submit to demands, including to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, ban masks at campus protests, and address alleged anti-Semitism on campus.
Well, the president has made it quite clear that it's Harvard who has put themselves in the position to lose their own funding by not obeying federal law. And the president made it clear he's not going to tolerate violations of federal law. He's not going to tolerate illegal harassment and violence towards Jewish American students or students of any faith on our campuses across the country. And so we will be responding to the lawsuit in court.
But Harvard President Alan Garber said actions by the administration have, quote, stark real-life consequences for everyone tied to its campus, as well as an effect on the standing of American higher education across the world.
Harvard leaders are pushing back on administration demands that the university give authorities access to all of its reports on anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim bias on campus, generated since October 2023.
The demands on Harvard came in a recent letter from the Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights.
The letter reportedly also requests that any people involved in preparing the reports should be made available for interviews by federal officials.
Other universities, including Princeton, Cornell, and Northwestern, have also seen federal funding paused amid similar Trump administration demands. On that note, Trump signed 7 executive orders on education on Wednesday, and one takes aim at the college accreditation process.
The order targets the federal government's process for deciding what colleges and universities can access billions of dollars in federal student loans and Pell Grants.
It also directs the Attorney General and Secretary of Education to investigate unlawful discrimination by higher education institutions.
Trump also signed an executive order aimed at bringing artificial intelligence into K-12 schools.
In a third order, the president threatens to cut off federal funding for schools that fail to disclose where their foreign money is coming from.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is moving forward with a plan to reshape the State Department.
Rubio's plan includes eliminating 132 domestic offices. The federal agency will cut around 700 positions in Washington, D.C., and close offices that are focused on war crimes and global conflict.
As a reminder again, because I know there's been a lot of fake news out there, this is a reorganization plan. It is not something where people are being fired today. They're not, no one's going to be walking out of the building. It's not that kind of a dynamic. It is a roadmap. It's a plan. It is something that there's been a congressional notice that has been sent. And so the steps and the procedures that happen through the government are also taking place at this point as well.
Rubio made that announcement on social media.
He said the goals for the department to be reorganized in a way that is structurally in line with what the administration wants to accomplish.
Well, that's all the time here on Coast to Coast.
Ariel and Shay will be back later with more national updates in the second half of the program.
Thank you, Emma and Andres. As retailers across the U.S. prepare for the impact of Trump's tariffs plan against foreign goods, many businesses in Miami-Dade feel uncertain for what lies ahead. Darrel Creary spoke with one store in Coconut Grove, whose staff shared how things have changed and their thoughts on the trade war.
Hannah and Tiger's Asian Market sits in the center of Coconut Grove. All of its products come from overseas, mainly China, Japan, and Korea. Store owners say this helps many immigrants feel at home in Miami-Dade and also exposes locals to something new. But that could potentially change.
I've seen big deliveries almost every single day of almost everything and stuff that we don't even have, I guess, as like a supplement just in case if we don't have the other item.
Rafael has been working at the store for several months. He raises some concerns on how the rising costs will affect him and the store's customers.
I'm kind of scared how much that's going to affect the price of my lunch because since I just get here just snacks, food here just in general instead of walking around Miracle Mile.
Throughout the store, shelves are piled with the newest products from Asia. This, however, may not last for long. Since the start of April, the Trump administration shook the international market after announcing a reciprocal tariff plan for dozens of U.S. trade partners. For Japan, tariffs sit at 24%, South Korea 25%, and China a whopping 145%. Japan and Korea are part of the many countries listed in a 90-day tariff pause, but as the market continues to drop and a U.S. trade war with China starts to boil over, investment is starting to lose its appetite.
In just the first half of 2024, Miami-Dade imported over 4 million tons of foreign goods. And just down this block in Coral Gables, you can see that reflected in dozens of stores that sell foreign merchandise and food. The question now is for consumers on how much they're willing to spend on things once they get more expensive.
Stores like Hannah and Tiger's are buying in bulk to beat the looming hit of price spikes. But with many perishable foods, managers are taking more risks to stay afloat.
Just puts a lot of pressure on us coworkers, just trying to find space, make space, and especially space in the back, and it can be a lot of pressure.
It isn't all doom and gloom. Managers are finding ways to maneuver around higher costs by finding substitutes for some of the more popular foods on the market. But until negotiations with the Trump administration are finalized, we could see a near future of empty shelves and fewer options for consumers.
That was Darrel Creary reporting. Coming up, one new research center at the University of Miami is giving hope to people with HIV. We will have more after the break.
Hey guys, I'm Nick Janikopoulos, host of Off the Wire. We're having our season finale, and it's my final episode as host. It's been such an honor to work along.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I'm filming my senior bump.
We don't get senior bumps, and who the hell are you?
Well, I was about to give my favorite memory. Here, give yours.
My favorite memory. It hasn't happened yet. My favorite memory is gonna be when this guy, right here, walks out of those Studio C doors for the last time, and I never have to see him again.
Oh, Gio, you always know just what to say.
I hope I don't see you tomorrow.
That guy.
Here at the University of Miami, the Center for HIV and Research in Mental Health, or CHARM, offers expertise, infrastructure, and services to community members and community partners. Alejandra Morales has the details.
When Florida native Roxana Lindo Bolden found out she has HIV 29 years ago, she reacted like most people who are faced with serious health issues.
My mental health, I went through all the stages of HIV. I went through the denial, and I was stuck there for almost 10 years. I went through the accepting, where I had to start to learn to re-love myself and become compliant with taking my medication and accepting this is my new norm.
Roxana is one of about 40 million people who are living with HIV around the world. The virus can cause AIDS, a disease that was first recognized in the 1980s, and has so far claimed the lives of more than 42 million people globally. There is no cure for AIDS yet, but the death rate has declined significantly thanks to expanded access to antiviral therapy and declining incidence of HIV infections. And Roxana is working to sustain that. She's a founding member of the Center for HIV and Research in Mental Health, or CHARM, at the University of Miami.
I met the founder or the lead research developer in one of her projects. I felt it very important for my voice to be heard. I was given the opportunity to join this CAP, and I took it, and I've been running with it ever since.
The center was created in 2019 with the mission to bridge the boundaries that divide behavior and biomedical research. Decades-long research indicates those suffering from mental health challenges are more susceptible to HIV. The success of the program led CHARM to become a full AIDS research center last spring. This new title expanded CHARM outside the University of Miami and created affiliations with nearby universities, including FIU, UCF, and FSU. CHARM's Community Advisory Board hosts monthly meetings with local advocates and people living with HIV to provide critical insight to researchers. This insight, for example, has helped develop education systems for Latino men to access HIV treatments.
I'm so grateful for the UM, CHARM, and just getting into my emotions, especially when I talk about my past. It's not that I'm sad, it's just today I feel. And the tears flow from gratitude. For all I went through in my life, I'm still standing.
For UMTV, I'm Alejandra Morales.
Wow, what an impactful story.
Especially here at the university.
Well, speaking of the university, Chris, you know, you're graduating soon and there's finals coming up. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. You know, it's exciting. It's an exciting time. But I do want to know what the weather is going to be like this weekend before that countdown starts.
Well, luckily, student meteorologist Ann Badowsky is here to tell us more.
Ann, what can we expect this weekend?
Well, Chris, I have some good news for you, at least for this afternoon. We have a brush fire up by Broward, up by Weston. Not going to make a huge impact for us here in Miami, though. You can see a lot of that smoke. With those, wind is going to be moving towards the west coast. So down here in Miami, we're going to have some pretty clear conditions. The bad news for this afternoon, though, is going to be your rain chances. We have a few spot showers that are going to be moving in just a little bit as we head into the afternoon and overnight hours. A little bit soggy as you head out, but no crazy rain, nothing heavy or anything like that to really keep an eye on. A big story is going to be wind, though, especially as we head through the rest of the weekend. You can see for Friday afternoon here in Miami with 18 miles per hour, a little bit gusty. For me, I was looking forward to paddleboarding, and even though that's kind of out the window just a little bit, these wind values throughout the rest of the weekend are going to help us cool down just a little bit, especially with some higher temperatures that we're going to be seeing as we head throughout the rest of the weekend as well. You see it dissipates just a little bit But for the weekend, we have a lot of beautiful sunshine ahead of us. Temperatures are going to stay pretty high as well, but William DePaola will be here later to tell us about some beach conditions that we could be seeing as we head into the weekend.
Thank you, Ann. When NewsVision returns after a short break, I will have the latest updates on the NBA playoffs and other sports news. See you on the other side.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome to sports. I'm Taryn Jacobs. The NBA playoffs are in full swing and the Miami Heat are not off to the best start. Let's take it to Rocket Arena in Cleveland for the Game 2 highlights. We'll start in the first quarter here. Mitchell drives it in and he'll lose it, but Mobley scoops it up and flushes that one in. Now 10 to go in the second. Donovan Mitchell to Hunter, and he'll connect on that one for 3. And here's Hunter again. He had 12 off the bench on the night for them. And Miami Heat with the ball, but they'll turn that over. And Merrill with all the time in the world, pull up from 3 and money. Now top of their third, Donovan Mitchell walks right up to the arc and knocks that one down. Now to the fourth we go. A quick pass around, and it's Davion Mitchell on the Heat, wide open, bang. Now Heat down 4, less than 4 minutes to go, and Mitchell again drives into his defender up to Adebayo, who hammers that one, and it's 3 to go now in the game. Mitchell takes it all the way in. He'll step back, fadeaway jumper. That one is good. Now Mitchell again here with the ball, a little fake out, step back, and drop that one in again. And now one more here again, just for good measure for Mitchell, but the Cavs will go on to win 121-112 and go 2-0 in the series. And while the Heat and the Cavaliers are playing in the playoffs for the first time in history, 7 other series matchups are being played. The top-seeded Oklahoma City Thunder continue to be the favorites to win the national title. The Thunder won its first game against the Grizzlies by a record margin of 51 points, and then won Game 2 by almost 20 points. And another matchup to keep an eye on is the Houston Rockets and Golden State Warriors. The series is tied at 1 game apiece, and after Jimmy Butler's injury last night, his status for Game 3 is unclear. If he does not play, it could make a big impact for the Warriors. Let's take a look at the games that are going on tonight. The Knicks and Pistons series is tied 1-1 as they're playing right now in Detroit. The Thunder will look for a third win tonight against the Grizzlies at 9:30, and the Nuggets and Clippers will face off and look to pull ahead of the other at 10 p.m. tonight. And back in Miami, Canes baseball has picked up some momentum, winning their last 3 ACC series. This past weekend, the Canes swept the 14th-ranked Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, giving up only 2 runs in each game. Not only did they show up on the defensive side, they got their bats going as well, bringing in as many as 10 runs. A big factor in this switch is the chemistry of the players on the team, despite a roster that looks almost entirely different this season. Miami now has a chance to make a run in the postseason. Now, playing 3 different sports is tough at any age, but playing 3 sports at once, that's a whole different story. I had the opportunity to share the journey of one triathlete here at the University of Miami. When young children who grew up playing at least one sport go to college, many of them try to stay active and often join a team. At the University of Miami, a lot of them find a welcoming home at Tri-Canes, the university's triathlon club.
I missed the idea of having a team and having those friends on the team and just the dynamic. And I think in college everyone's looking for something to keep them in shape.
KT is a senior and joined Tri-Canes in her junior year. But in only 2 years, she has gathered an impressive record. 9 triathlons and a full Ironman, which is a 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, and a full 26.2-mile marathon run.
It's, finding that self-belief when other people believe in you, and I think that's something that's really instilled in the team that's really helped me. And I've accomplished a lot that I wouldn't have expected through the clubs.
But KT's greatest accomplishment is not one of her personal races. It's the one she did for someone else. 20-year-old Marina Mears, a junior at Clemson University, has Stargardt's disease. a genetic eye disorder that causes a black spot in the central point of vision. Marina is only able to see through her peripherals.
Over the past couple years, it's been getting a little worse, and I got in a couple bike wrecks, and so I was like, okay, I need to start moving to paratri because I can't really do this on my own anymore. So I wanted to continue racing because I love racing.
If there's something in the road and then the light changes, then she can't see it. And that's when she crashed on some cones in a church parking lot with me. And I just was like, okay, I'm done with this.
It was so hard, and it still is really hard to deal with, but like, you can't just sit and be sad about it. Like, the only thing you can do is look forward and try to problem solve.
And problem solve she did. On March 30th, Marina raced in the Clash Endurance Miami Tri at the Homestead Speedway, side by side with KT as her guide, tethered together for the swim and run portions. Now, this may look like a simple rope, but for KT and Marina, this tether is their lifeline during the race. And once it's tied to both of their legs, they're off and running or swimming. USA Triathlon reached out to Miami Tri-Canes as the hosting school, asking if someone would be a guide for the upcoming race, and KT jumped at the opportunity. Together, the two girls crossed the finish line.
It's an incredible opportunity that doesn't always come your way, and a cool learning experience, I think, doing a race for someone other than yourself for the first time.
She picked it up so easily, and I know that she's going to be perfect. She's a super strong athlete.
Taryn Jacobs, UMTV.
Coming up, our seniors give a final farewell message as their last goodbye to NewsVision. Plus, a mom and daughter duo is stepping up to help end bullying in schools and communities in South Florida. We will tell you how in just a minute.
Hey everyone, I'm Quinn Davidson. I am the current executive producer of Canes Cast. I have been the executive producer of Canes Cast for 3 years now. I'm also the weather anchor for NewsVision, and I occasionally am featured on Newsbreak as well. My favorite UMTV memory would probably be the first time we did the morning show. I think it was such a different experience because we woke up so early and it was really fun to kind of integrate so many different aspects of UMTV into one big production.
Hi, I'm Jordan Cerullo. I've been involved in 4 shows at my time here. I reported on Pulse. I've anchored Newsbreak and Next on NewsVision and also reported on NewsVision, and I'm now the anchor of Sports Desk. I would say my biggest piece of advice is to always stay positive and stay true to yourself. You're gonna face rejection, work is gonna get hard sometimes, but just know that everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to, and you're gonna get everything done one step at a time.
What started as a moment of loneliness on the playground has transformed into a movement of kindness across South Florida. I spoke with one young girl who turned her pain into purpose. When South Florida resident Victoria Portella joined a new elementary school in the 3rd grade, she was enrolled into the gifted program, and almost immediately she fell out of place.
I started feeling the feelings of loneliness and isolation because of the comments people made to me. And that's the reason why I really wanted to start this nonprofit, so that I can prevent those feelings for anyone else in the coming future.
But instead of letting that pain define her, Victoria and her mom, Mary, decided to do something about it so that no other kid would feel the same way.
There is a lot of proven facts and research done that bullying does really affect someone in the many years to come. It's not something temporary. Things that people tell you stick with you.
And so, a project called the My Buddy Bench Project was born in 2022. The initiative includes installing brightly colored benches in schools where kids can sit when they're feeling lonely, signaling to others that they need a friend.
I get a little emotional because I'm so happy that she could take this journey of something that could have been very negative for the rest of her life to something positive. And we're hoping that, that this affects other kids in a positive way like it has done her.
So far, 5 My Buddy benches have been installed in South Florida schools, and another one is being unveiled on April 30th at Laura C. Saunders Elementary School in Homestead, Florida.
And the kids are super excited, the principal, the staff, everybody's been so welcoming, and we hope that it has such a positive impact like it's done for many other schools and communities.
What started as a child's struggle to fit in has become a community's commitment to ensure every child feels supported, included, and valued, one bench at a time.
Be a buddy and not a bully.
Be a buddy and not a bully.
Kayla, I'm going to miss you so much next semester. You've been so involved in UMTV almost 3 years here now. How are you feeling?
Gosh, I'm so excited to, kind of move on and see what's next for me. I'm really excited to get into the real world, but I'm going to miss you guys so much. I've met some of my best friends here at UMTV. The faculty and staff that have helped with these shows have been so incredible. So I'm so sad to leave, and it's sad, but I'm excited.
It's going to be so exciting.
And Chris over here has done a great job all semester, senior anchor for us. Chris, favorite memory here at UMTV?
Favorite memory, I'm going to have to go cheesy here a second and say this one right here. I mean, seeing this, seeing the camaraderie, seeing all the work that we have put in, it makes me proud. It makes me excited for my future and also everybody else's future in here. And it's been a great time. It's taught me nothing but love, and, that's how I feel. Well, that is all Lauren and I have for you tonight, but stay tuned for the second half of the hour-long special of NewsVision.
My name is Max Keller, and I have done Sports Desk, Uni Miami, Canes Cast, and NewsVision and Newsbreak. I got to anchor NewsVision on Halloween, and that was really fun. Emmeline and I got to put on costumes at the desk, and I remember watching Taryn's live shot when she was dressed up in the shark costume, and we were all laughing in the studio. That was like a really fun show that entire night, and I think it was pretty cool to be on air during the actual holiday.
Hi, I'm Kayla Butter. I've been on UMTV for 2.5 years now, and I've been an anchor and reporter for UMTV's NewsVision and Newsbreak, and I was also a live reporter for our election special in 2024. My one piece of advice to people joining UMTV is to just get involved in as many things as you can and say yes to as many things as you can. If you can step in and help with teleprompter or crewing something, just do it. The more you show up, the more opportunities that you'll have in the future.
Hi, I'm Regina Potenza. I've been part of UMTV since August 2021, so it's been 4 years, and I have anchored, hosted, reported on NewsVision, Sports Desk, and UMTV This Morning. My favorite memory from UMTV has been when we had UMTV This Morning followed by Sports Desk, because some of us were in the studio at 3 a.m. and then we were here to about 8:30 p.m. without leaving, so we're really dedicated to Studio B.
Hi, I'm Gracie Palmer. I've been on UMTV for 3 years. I've been a part of Newsbreak, NewsVision, and some of our special presentations. I was an anchor and reporter for both Newsbreak and NewsVision. My one piece of advice to underclassmen would probably be don't give up and just keep showing up, and one day everything will work out the way it's supposed to. The biggest thing I've learned here on UMTV is that everything really is a team sport and no one can do anything by themselves, and it really takes an entire team to make these shows happen.
Still ahead on NewsVision, the NFL Draft begins in 1 hour, and we'll preview what former Canes are expected to be picked. Plus, we'll tell you about how some Hurricane athletes are being honored after leaving campus. And later on, one teen in Miami who is taking a musical approach to help the community. Good evening, and thank you for staying with NewsVision. I'm Gavin Bishow.
And I'm Kayla Butter. The University of Miami's Theater Arts Department has begun its performance for Seussical the Musical this week, celebrating the characters and stories of late children's book author Dr. Seuss. Amanda Mohamad is live at the Jerry Herman Ring Theatre now with another performance that is set to start at 8 p.m. tonight. Amanda, what can you tell us?
And so I think Amanda Mohamad right now is not live with us, actually a couple of technical difficulties, but with that, we'll send it across studio to coast, Ariel and Shay. Guys, what do you have for us?
This is Coast to Coast. I'm Ariel Wild.
And I'm Shay McDonald.
U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is once again facing backlash after sending detailed military plans concerning the Houthi rebels in Yemen from his personal phone to family members and more than a dozen other people. The chat over the app called Signal reportedly included his wife, lawyer, and brother.
Trump has engaged in several legal disputes with media outlets, including CBS, and it has resulted in the resignation of their executive producer of 60 Minutes, who said he no longer has control over the show. Bill Owens announced his resignation on Tuesday and had been with the program for 24 years, within the network for 37. 60 Minutes has been under fire as Trump has sued CBS News and its parent company, Paramount Global, for $10 billion starting last November.
The president claimed a 60 Minutes interview with former Vice President Kamala Harris was grossly misedited by the network at the Harris campaign's direction. Trump has repeatedly called for CBS to lose its license and urged the Federal Communications Commission to punish the broadcaster. Trump and Paramount have agreed on a mediator to handle the lawsuit.
The Democratic Party is losing one of its longest Senate representatives, as Illinois Senator Dick Durbin just announced he will not seek re-election next year.
Durbin has served for 44 years, and during that time, he has been the Democratic whip, which is the second highest ranking leadership position in the party since 2005. He says he is now stepping down to allow younger leadership to take his place in the midst of what he views as challenging times.
Hawaii's Brian Schatz, Minnesota's Amy Klobuchar, and Washington State's Patty Murray are the early favorites to be in the race to replace Durbin.
Well, that's all for this semester here on Coast to Coast.
Back to you guys at the desk.
We are back with Amanda Mohamad at Ring Theatre, where performances have begun for Seussical the Musical this week. Amanda, what can you tell us?
After a year of productions and a transition into a new facility, the University of Miami Theater Department is wrapping up their season with their whimsiest show yet. Seussical the Musical follows Horton the elephant from Horton Hears a Who and his journey to protect Whoville, a tiny world on a speck of dust that's featured in many of Dr. Seuss's books. Along the way, he meets other iconic Seuss characters like Gertrude McFuzz, the Grinch, Thing 1 and 2, and the Cat in the Hat, who narrates the show, navigating Horton and his Whoville friend JoJo through judgment, responsibility, and love. The musical comedy ran on Broadway from 2000 to 2001 and closed after a $10.5 million loss. But schools and universities across the country keep the story alive. So if you're looking for a show for all ages that's filled with excitement and reminiscing, Seussical will continue to run through Saturday, April 26th. Reporting live at the Ring Theatre, Amanda Mohamad, UMTV.
Thank you, Amanda. When we return, one South Florida family is using music to help spread autism awareness into Miami communities. Plus, a look into the University of Miami's annual Earth Day celebration on campus. That and a lot more just ahead.
I'm John. This is my last semester here at NewsVision. My favorite UMTV memory would definitely have to be the first time I was on air for NewsVision. Just being able to do my sports segment, write and produce my own segment, be able to edit the video I wanted to use and then go live, be on the air, go through my highlights, talk about the sports stories that I cared about. It was a great experience, and I'll be forever grateful for my time here at UMTV.
My name is Ben Freeman, and I've done a ton of things at UMTV. I started with Newsbreak. I've done 3 different segments on Pulse, hosted NewsVision, and then I've done 2 things for Off the Wire, including Freeman on the Street most recently. A piece of advice I'd say is just be yourself. Don't be afraid to do things that you think are silly or stupid or make you look like a fool, because these years go by fast and you'll always remember the things that you did do and never the things you didn't.
For one South Florida family, music is more than a hobby. It's a way to spread autism awareness. Noah Gulley takes us to Hollywood, where a local bar opened its stage to teen musicians and a community-wide cause.
15-year-old Ryan Kearns is a high school musician, but this performance is personal. For the past 2 years, he and his mom have organized events like this one in honor of his older brother who has autism.
Music means pretty much everything to me. It connects the most with me and how to get my feelings out there and kind of express them to others. And if people on the spectrum with my brother, it's almost kind of like a bonding experience with us, because it's a way that we connect with each other. And I've showed him songs before that he loves and he puts them on repeat all the time. So yeah, it's just a great way to bond and kind of establish an intimate relationship with them.
For the second straight year, their efforts brought them to Boston Johnny's in Hollywood, Florida. where Ryan took the stage and his mother Deborah helped lead the festival, raising funds for autism programs such as the Quest Center and Arc Broward.
Autism Awareness Month is very significant to Ryan and my family because his older brother, my older son, has severe autism. And in our experiences, we are very grateful and appreciative for some of the local community agencies that provide really invaluable services for individuals having autism. And we wanted to find a way to recognize them.
Raffle tickets, donation jars, and Jell-O shots helped raise money for those programs, including the Change Challenge, a simple way for guests to drop in a few dollars for a good cause.
You don't have to play guitar or sing karaoke to be part of this cause. The Change Challenge is just one way people here are giving back. And it's looking like it needs its first donation. Let's fix that.
But none of it would be possible without a stage. And for 2 years, that stage has belonged to Boston Johnny's, thanks to its owner.
It's special, so anything I can do to help. I don't have kids, so it's not difficult for me to help out. It became important to me. I wasn't really involved heavily until the first time, and now I want them to be here every year.
Outside, DJ Ace kept the energy going, cueing songs and hosting karaoke for a cause he says hits close to home.
We all have someone in our family that experiences autism. We all have someone in our family that's on the spectrum, and this is something that I think hits home more than anything. We all, in a way, find music to bring peace to us. I just feel that music is what brings us all together universally.
For Ryan, music is personal, but on this stage, it became something bigger, a way to honor his brother, bring his friends together, and give back to a community that shaped his life.
I wouldn't expect them to be so incentivized to help me out with this, and so it's just everyone's coming together, supporting a great cause, and it just means a lot to me because I know that I have really good friends that are there for me all the time. It's awesome.
The performances definitely earned an applause. For UMTV, I'm Noah Gulley.
The University of Miami celebrated its annual Earth Day with a campus-wide art fair, art exhibits, and tennis match featuring legends like Andre Agassi, all aimed at raising awareness for sustainability. These events at UM are a part of a broader nationwide effort to promote sustainability and address the growing impacts of climate change. Earth Day marks the 55th year with the theme Our Power, Our Planet. Communities across the country are coming together through events like cleanups, conservation projects, and environmental education to build a more resilient future for the planet.
And Kayla, obviously the environment so important, but really crucial here in Miami with how unique it is down here. It really is something special. And with that, many appreciate the nature here in Miami. And they go to the beach a lot in the 305.
However, the beach can be dangerous. According to Fort Lauderdale Ocean Rescue, over 10 people were rescued from riptides this past weekend, with at least one death.
And with summer approaching, it is important to keep an eye on the tides if you are heading to the beach. Student meteorologist William DePaola is here to tell us more about riptides. How can we stay safe?
William, what can you tell us?
Well, this weekend you're definitely going to be paying attention if you are heading to the beach. We take a look here on the Keys. They're going to be under a small craft advisory. This is going to be due to those increased winds Ann was talking about earlier. We see those gusting over 20 knots, and then this is going to lead to increased wave heights in the area. We're going to be seeing seas upwards of 8 feet. So this just means if you are heading out on the water in any of those small boats, you want to be careful because you could easily be flipped over and get stuck in the water. And now along with that, we're going to be seeing a rip current statement for the entire east coast of Florida here. This is going to be impacting us here in the Miami area. So if you are heading out to those beaches, please be weather aware and know what to do if you do get caught in a rip current. Now, as we see, the entire eastern seaboard is going to be under a high risk of that rip current, as I was talking about. So just know what to do if you do get caught in those, and please understand what a rip current is. So you might be thinking, what is a rip current? Well, they're pretty hard to see, but there's a little bit of a mathematical way to go about it. You see here, we see this little area. This is going to be a lull. This is going to be that current that's going to be dragging you out into the ocean. If you do get caught in that, however, you're going to want to know what to do. You're going to want to make sure you do not fight the current because this is going to tire you out and you're going to be stuck out there. You want to swim parallel to the shore if you do have any energy left. That is going to get you out of that current. And then please, please, please just make sure you know where the lifeguards are. And then if you are on land, you're going to be able to get a nice tan as the UV forecast is going to be beautiful.
Coming up, we'll tell you why a Miami football star could be the #1 story in all of American sports tonight. Stay with us.
Hi, my name is Ariel Weil, and here at my time at UMTV, I've been involved in multiple shows. My favorite memory here was definitely when I did the live shot for Hurricane Helene. Everything was thrown at me very last minute that day. I threw together a last minute package and I was completely thrown out into the field. Wind was blowing, things were getting very crazy. And I would say the reason that I was able to be thrown into something so last minute is because of the support I have here at UMTV.
Hi guys, I'm Christopher Perez. Here at my time at UMTV, I've anchored NewsVision, Pulse, Newsbreak, and Uni Miami. I also reported for NewsVision, and I was an anchor for the entertainment section on our special UMTV This Morning. I would say one piece of advice that I have for incoming UMTV members would be to always trust yourself, trust the process, and know that we're all here to grow and not to be perfect. So you're doing great, and you will always do great.
Welcome to sports. For one last time, I'm John Stanley. In honor of the NFL draft tonight, let's take a trip down memory lane and look at Cam Ward's best plays from his historic senior season this year with Miami. Who can forget the big-time Week 6 comeback at Cal? Ward's going to fake a handoff and throw it to Arroyo. He'll push his way into the end zone. A massive 25-point comeback, massive game for Ward and Miami to stay unbeaten and push Ward into Heisman talks. A week later, another tight game. Ward's going to roll to his left, step up in the pocket, and as he's hit, launch a deep shot down the sideline to Restrepo, who'll make a defender miss and get all the way down to the 1-yard line. Miami would go in to win another big, close ACC game. And how about against the arch rivals? No problem for Cam Ward. He was running trick plays on them. He'll go on and catch a touchdown against Florida State in a dominant home win on homecoming. And it wouldn't be a Cam Ward highlight video without a broken play touchdown. He'll move around in the pocket, escape to his right, and throw a perfect pass just over the outstretched arm of the defender to Restrepo in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. And to finish it off, the connection we got so used to, Ward to Restrepo, a big play touchdown to help Restrepo break the all-time Miami reception and receiving yards records. And speaking of Cam Ward, the NFL draft has finally arrived, which means it's time to find out where the best college football stars will start their professional careers. The draft is going to take place in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the home of the Packers, for the first time ever. The draft starts at 8 p.m. The Tennessee Titans have the first pick tonight, so let's take a look at some of the top talents in this year's draft that expect to see their names taken off the board early. Cam Ward is expected to go first overall tonight. I would be shocked if we hear any name besides the former Hurricane quarterback at the first spot. The next few picks at the top of the first round can go in a few different directions. Abdul Carter out of Penn State is the premier edge rusher in this year's draft, which is a highly coveted position at the NFL level. The Heisman winner and two-way star Travis Hunter from Colorado will surely hear his name early tonight, and he'll bring elite athleticism to both the offense and defense of whatever team that selects him. In terms of O-line, Will Campbell out of LSU is trending towards the top of draft boards after an All-American season where he allowed only 2 sacks. And the wild card of the draft is Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty, who put together one of the most dominant rushing seasons in college football history. What he lacks in height, he makes up for with his speed and power. Look out for these stars early in tonight's draft. Over the years, many exceptional athletes have come and gone through the University of Miami athletics program. And although those athletes may have graduated, they are definitely not forgotten. Delanie Haddad has the story.
As the spring semester comes to a close, 8 former Canes athletes return to their alma mater to receive the highest athletic honor, a spot in the University of Miami Sports Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is home to fewer than 400 remarkable athletes who had left their mark on Miami. Each year, friends, family, and current Hall of Famers come together to celebrate the achievements of the new inductees.
This event is just getting the inductees up on stage, and the cool thing is they tell their story.
Athletes are eligible at least 10 years after graduation. The inductees are chosen by an anonymous selection committee, and as the president, Mike Ward gets the privilege of sharing the good news.
It's probably the neatest thing the president does is make that call and, hey, you're going to be in the University of Miami Sports Hall of Fame and Museum. Darius was like, Coach, is this the call I've been waiting for? And I'm like, yes, Darius, this is the call you've been waiting for.
I was like,
why is the track coach calling me? Do I have another year of eligibility left? I can go run a little bit. I mean, just to get that invite, it just shows that all your hard work was appreciated, and I'm happy to be here.
The class of 2025 consists of 8 athletes from 7 different sports. Among them is Cindy Kessler-Miller, a golf player who graduated from the University of Miami in 1978, almost 50 years ago.
I ended up graduating the #1 player on the team, and now 50 years later, I'm getting in the Hall of Fame, so it's a real big deal.
A spot in the UM Sports Hall of Fame is not just a bragging right. It's a way for those who have significantly contributed to Hurricanes athletics to stay close to their Canes family. Delanie Haddad, UMTV.
Time for a short break, but when we return, one South Florida nonprofit is using candles to spark dreams and create opportunities for those who need it most. Plus, our meteorologist Quinn Davidson updates us on the weather for finals and graduation. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Kaczarski, and I'm the current station manager and have been the executive producer of NewsVision for the past 2 years. I've also been the producer for some of our special projects, including the 2024 election special, Decision Day. Studio B has been my home for the past 4 years. I've spent more time here than in my actual classes, which is funny because I'm actually not in the School of Communication. I'm a marine science and biology major, so that shows my love for how much I love this studio and the people here. UMTV has brought me some of my closest relationships and some that I will carry for the rest of my life. I'm so beyond thankful for all the faculty, for everything that they have taught me, and everything that I've gotten to experience here at UMTV. I don't know what I'm going to do with my Thursdays from now on, now that NewsVision is over, and I don't think I have the heart to end the calendar reservation each week in my phone saying Studio B from 2 to 7:30 p.m. I will forever love NewsVision and for all of those involved. So now it is time for me to go tell my anchors to wrap one last time.
One South Florida nonprofit is using candles to spark dreams and create opportunities for those who need it most. And they're doing it from the first floor of the Chateau Mar Hotel in Fort Lauderdale. Here's Max Keller with the story.
Sensibility has more than just a clever name. They're a nonprofit organization that makes scented candles with unique titles like positivity, mindfulness, or purpose. But this organization's purpose is much bigger than just making candles. Bonnie Schmidt, the founder of Sensibility, faced major adversity shortly after giving birth to her daughter Jessica.
When Jessica was born, she was normal, and she had her first seizure at 6 weeks old, and I was told at the hospital that she would never walk and never talk, and basically just to put her in an institution, give up, and start my life over.
But Bonnie didn't give up, and Jessica proved the doctors wrong. Instead, Bonnie started a new chapter when founding Sensibility in 2009 to help Jessica and other adults with intellectual disabilities live a fulfilling life.
They have all the same dreams, all the same goals, but they need help in every aspect.
Sensibility currently has 9 adult artisans with IDD who work together as a team to make thousands of candles a month. But the true prize seems to be the joy shared with friends.
My favorite part is like having fun, having a birthday celebrations and talking or dancing or do whatever,
That's Julia, the newest member of the team, and her life has been anything but easy.
Since when I was born, I just realized that I was a special baby, that I have Down syndrome.
And when adults like Julia finish college, things can get even more difficult.
Most people do believe that the government takes care of them when they get to be older, and that's not true. They actually live with their families, and this is the first generation of adults with IDD that's actually outliving their parents.
But Sensibility works hard to create independence for their artisans, even allowing them to create their own candle.
My candle is dream because I like to dream a lot, especially at nighttime. And my dream is to move out of my parents' house.
And with a new independent living community in the works, that dream will come true. And speaking of dreams, my new friends at Sensibility let me work on a candle of my own.
I'm here with my new friends Lexi, Julia, and Jessica, and today they're going to be cheering me on as I pour wax into my first ever candle. Guys, let's go for it.
Come on, Max. Go, Max. Keep going.
Let's go, Max.
Keep going.
Keep going, keep going.
Let me tell
Keep
you.
going.
Stop. Stop.
Woo! Good job, yay!
Now what is Max? A Chandler.
I'm a Chandler now. A Chandler with friends ready to take on the world. Max Keller, UMTV.
It's such a great thing to see organizations like this doing such great things for the
I
community.
mean, unbelievable. What a story that Max did there. It really shows the importance of that community, and I just can't say enough about that. Moving over to weather, student meteorologist Quinn Davidson is here with us one final time.
Quinn, what can we expect for finals and graduation?
Well, we'll stay on that same thing we have been seeing all across the state of Florida, which is dry. Looking at our new drought monitor issued this morning from National Weather Service, much of our state is in a severe, moderate, if not even extreme drought in portions of our state. And that is what is going to be causing the potential for burn bans. We already see burn bans in effect for Collier County and Lee counties on the Gulf Coast of our state right here. And that is going to be something that we here in Miami-Dade County are going to have to watch as we see we may have some water restrictions coming into place in the future. This is actually the first time we're seeing an extreme drought expand west since 2011. So something that nothing unprecedented, but definitely pretty significant. We have a brush fire in Broward County, thankfully pushing the smoke with that eastern wind towards the west in Alligator Alley. So if you are heading towards Naples, you may want to watch out to see if your visibility changes on I-75. And that is going to be kind of continuing into the day tomorrow, and it still stays with the smoke heading towards the west. Our futurecast, nothing of significance necessarily. We do have the chance for a spotty shower here and there, but there's not that much moisture aloft. So we're going to be seeing the potential, even if there is a shower, very short-lived and not significant. And that is kind of the situation as we head into the week. The only next time we're going to be seeing the rain chances increase will be Monday and Tuesday, where a frontal boundary will make its way down to Florida. It won't quite make its way all the way down, but that moisture will, in fact, head into our state. So we'll be seeing a chance of rain increasing. Oh, you guys, I can't believe, and for the last time.
Welcome back, Quinn.
Thank you so much.
It's been a long semester, a great one at that. Tons of seniors surrounding me here that have done so much for the station, for the show. I'm just looking at all the people here. Obviously, my co-anchor, Kayla, all semester long has been great. I see Chris behind me somewhere, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Doing good? Man, this is a special day for all you guys. Anyone want to say anything about their time here? Anything they want to finish off? This semester, probably a couple minutes
Gavin,
here.
you said it's been a long semester. I feel like it's been one of my shortest.
Oh, I guess I'm a junior still, so I still have a lot of work to do.
I can't believe how fast the time has gone, and I can't believe it's coming to an end.
I also just want to say this would not be possible without Caitlin, the star of the show. She is the woman who makes this all happen.
It's not possible with all of you guys not practicing, getting your reps in, sitting out here, and listening to me yelling in your ear for the entirety of the show. Otherwise, it would not be possible.
I think that was one of the best.
It's just been such a good home. I feel like, 4 years really does kind of have a time where you do reach a point where you're like, oh my gosh, you look back on it, it's been 4 years. And I'm so grateful for everyone here to provide such a welcoming and inclusive environment for all of us to be ourselves and truly immerse ourselves in the broadcast experience. So to that, UMTV, I'm forever grateful for you.
I mean, unbelievable experience. Max Keller, I mean, you've had so many different roles here at NewsVision. I mean, can we talk about that time here?
I mean, it's been awesome, and I even got to do a little bit of Spanish on the broadcast. But that's neither here nor there. It's been amazing to work with this cast. Everybody's been awesome. And, doing all of that has really helped me learn, but you guys have been the major fuel for getting better as a person,
And John Stanley, take a step up here, because I have never seen this guy before my class a couple years ago with Professor Moore, and he pops out of nowhere. One of the best sports guys we've seen here in a while. I mean, phenomenal job every other week. Taryn, of course, behind the camera, doing phenomenal as well. But John, I mean, come on, man. What a kind of career here.
It's always easy doing sports when you're talking about fun stories.
Exactly. And with the Hurricanes, obviously football, he talked about.
Great year this year. Cam Ward was
balling out.
He's going to do great in the NFL.
There we go, Max. Jordan, you want to pop in and say anything? I mean, you've been historically a big part of UMTV. Obviously, you're on sports desk and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, I've had the most amazing experience on NewsVision. It's like hurting me that I wasn't on the cast this semester. And
we had a great time.
But I love you all, and I'm so glad I got to be here right now to be with you.
We love you.
All right, Allie, you want to say?
I guess it's time for our final goodbyes.
Okay.
Well, from the EPS, she tells me not by me, but in person, right? And that's all the time that we have for this semester here at NewsVision.
We'll be back at the same time in the fall at the same time in the same place. Have a good night.
Not all of us.
Love you guys. I love you so much.